Winter of the Ice Wizard by Mary Pope Osborne. Chapter 3. The Ice Wizard. The air inside the palace was even colder than the air outside. Moonlight flooded through tall arches in the walls. The floor shined like a skating rink. Thick columns of sparkling ice held up the dome's ceiling. "Welcome, Jack and Annie," boomed a voice from beyond the columns. Jack gasped. "Is that Merlin?" he whispered. "It does not sound like Merlin," whispered Teddy. "But how does he know our names?" whispered Annie. "Come, Jack and Annie. I have been waiting for you," bellowed the voice. "Maybe it is Merlin," said Annie. "Maybe he's just using a different voice. Come on." "Annie, wait," Jack called, but Annie had already disappeared into the sparkly room. "We have to follow her," he said to Teddy and Kathleen. The three of them hurried after Annie. Beyond the columns, steps made of carved ice led up to a platform. Sitting on a throne on the platform was a huge bearded man. The man on the throne was definitely not Merlin. He was dressed in a worn robe trimmed with dirty fur. He had a rugged, weather-beaten face, a blushy beard, and a black eye patch. He leaned forward and glared down at Annie with his one good eye. "Who are you?" he demanded. "I was expecting Jack and Annie of Fog Creek." Annie stepped toward the throne. "I am Annie, and he is Jack," she said, "and these are our friends Teddy and Kathleen. We come in peace." "Annie? Jack?" the man snorted. "You are not Annie and Jack. You are far too small." "We are not so small," said Annie. "I'm 9. Jack's 10. "But you are children," the man said with scorn. "Jack and Annie are heroes." "Well, I don't know if I'd call us heroes," said Annie, "but we sometimes help Merlin and Morgan Le Fay." "Annie, shh," said Jack. He didn't trust the man on the throne and worried that Annie was saying too much, but Annie went on. "In fact, Merlin told us to come to the land behind the clouds today," she said. "He sent us a message written on a stone." "Ah," said the man on the throne. "Perhaps you really are Jack and Annie." He leaned forward and spoke in a low voice. "To Jack and Annie of Fog Creek, my staff of strength has been stolen. On the winter solstice, journey to the land beyond the clouds. Travel toward the setting sun, and retrieve my staff, or all will be lost." Jack didn't understand. "How? How do I know what was in Merlin's message?" the man said. "I know because I wrote it myself. I hoped it would find its way to you somehow." Jack stepped back. So Merlin hadn't sent them on this mission at all. The weird man on the throne had tricked them. "Who are you?" demanded Teddy. "I am the Ice Wizard," said the man. "The Wizard of Winter." Teddy gulped. "Oh no," thought Jack. They had heard about this wizard in their past Merlin missions. It was the Wizard of Winter who had put a spell on the Raven King, and who had stolen the Sword of the Light. The wizard glanced coldly from Teddy to Kathleen. "And who are the two of you?" "I am Teddy of Camelot," said Teddy. "I am an apprentice to Morgan Le Fay, in training to be a sorcerer myself." "A sorcerer?" said the wizard. "Yes," said Teddy. "My father was a sorcerer. My mother was a wood spirit." "And I am a Selkie," said Kathleen, "one of the ancient seal people." "So you are both from my world," said the Ice Wizard. "You are of no use to me." He looked back at Jack and Annie. "I am interested only in the two mortals, Jack and Annie of Fog Creek." "Why are you interested in us?" said Jack. "Because of what you have done for Merlin," bellowed the Ice Wizard. "For Merlin, you found the water of memory and imagination. For Merlin, you found the diamond of destiny. For Merlin, you found the sword of light. Now, I want you to find something for me." "What do you want us to find?" asked Annie. The Ice Wizard grabbed the black patch covering his left eye. He yanked it off, revealing a dark, empty socket underneath. "Yikes," said Annie softly. "I want you to find my eye," the wizard said. "Oh, man," said Jack. He was horrified. Are you quite serious?" said Teddy. "You want them to find your eye?" The wizard covered his empty eye socket with the patch again. "Yes," he said. "I want Jack and Annie to find my eye, and bring it back to me." "But why?" said Jack. "Even if we found it, we couldn't make it work. We're not medical experts or anything. And anyway, why can't you get your eye yourself?" said Annie. "You're a wizard." "Do not question my orders," the wizard roared at her. "Hey, don't yell at my sister," said Jack. The wizard raised a bushy eyebrow. "You were brother and sister?" he said. "Yes," said Jack. The wizard nodded slowly. His voice grew softer. "And you protect your sister," he said. "We protect each other," said Jack. "I see," whispered the wizard. Then his voice turned gruff again. "Long ago, I traded my eye for something I wanted very much. But I never got what I wanted. So now I want my eye back." "Who did you trade with?" asked Annie. "The Fates," said the wizard. I traded with the Fates, but they cheated me, and that is why I sent for you and Jack. You must go to the Fates and find my eye, and you must go alone." "Why alone?" asked Jack. "Because only mortals can undo a bargain with the Fates," said the Ice Wizard. "Not wizards like me, nor seal girls, nor the sons of sorcerers like your two friends." "But Jack and I succeeded in our other missions because Teddy and Kathleen or Morgan and Merlin helped us," said Annie. "What kind of help did they give you?" said the Wizard. "Well, mostly magic rhymes and riddles," said Annie. "Ah, then I shall do the same," said the Wizard. He thought for a moment, then leaned forward on his throne. In a growly voice he said, "Take my sleigh and find your way to the house of the Norns in the curve of the bay. Pay them whatever they tell you to pay, and bring back my eye by break of day." The Wizard reached into the folds of his ragged robe and pulled out a thick string with a row of knots. "This wind string will speed you on your journey," he said. He tossed the string to Jack. "What's a wind string?" Jack wondered. "And who are the Norns?" But before Jack could answer any questions, the Ice Wizard pointed at him. "Now listen carefully to this warning," he said. "Beware the white wolves of the night. They may follow you on your quest. Never let them catch up with you. If they catch you, they will eat you." Jack felt a chill run down his spine. The Ice Wizard picked up a carved wooden stick from the floor beside his throne. Its smooth, polished wood glowed in the moonlight. Teddy gasped. "'Tis Merlin's staff of strength," he said. "Indeed," said the Wizard. He turned to Jack and Annie. "Go now and find my eye," he said, "or you will never see Merlin and Morgan Fay again." "What have you done with them?" cried Annie. The Wizard stared at her coldly. "I will not tell you," he said. "You will see them again only if you return my eye before the break of day." "But," said Annie. "No more questions," said the Wizard. "Be on your way." Before any of them could speak, the Ice Wizard slashed the air with Merlin's staff of strength and shouted a spell. "Oh, nigh!" A flash of blue fire shot from the end of the staff. In an instant, Jack, Annie, Teddy, and Kathleen found themselves outside the palace in the freezing night.